Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. I'm Chris Burdick. That's Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for.
We've got news all around, on and off the football field. We'll talk a little NBA. We've got some WandaVision talk. We've got all sorts of stuff. Plus, we welcome back Joel and Germ from WarmUp Athletics, joining us at 8 o'clock with some special news. And since we were out Monday, we're bringing back snacks to talk a little basketball to wrap up the show around 8:30. You can call or text in anytime throughout the show at 661-842-2000. And I didn't forget about your text. We had a text yesterday at the end of the show saying thanks. They won roast battle tickets on us last week. And he said, I know Anthony's your guy, but he thought Andrew did a better job.
Fantastic. Well, again,
so we'll see.
I'm just waiting for one of them to drop the video. That's what I need to see. I need to see some YouTube action of this, obviously. But
I did talk to Andrew Idell last night, and he's going to join us next week. But we'll have Anthony in here tomorrow to give us a recap, and we are working out the details for us to judge the next roast battle.
Let's go
over at the Well Comedy Club.
That'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. But we don't even know what day that is, though, huh?
No, he doesn't yet. It said as soon as he gets the date booked, he'll work it out with us.
Sweet. We'll have him on. Eric Lopez, if I'm not mistaken, is the one who runs that over at the Well. So we'll have him on as soon as we know when the next roast battle is. And if you missed out on this one, I highly suggest you buy tickets early for the next one, because once word gets out about these and people realize how great these are, they're going to sell out quick. I think this is going to be the best thing at the Well, or at least the best sideshow that they have run here locally. I'm telling you, it's all local guys. And I don't know, Spark, you've obviously seen a lot more of these guys than I have, but I still say we have the best comedy.
By far.
In the California area.
By far.
I genuinely believe here in the next 5 years, we're going to be competing with LA.
Yeah, and I'm waiting because I think we're really close when one of these guys are going to break loose.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you take one, you're going to take a handful of them. So I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know what podcast he was on, but our friend Dan Betts was on a podcast earlier last week or the week before, and I saw a reel of it online, and he put it beautifully. It's great just to see the community growing here in Bakersfield. But I love his mindset of it. He's just sitting there thinking, if I can be the guy to give them the platform to become that guy, that's good for me. I'm happy with that. And honestly, you need people like that. You really do. Because Dan himself could be that guy. He really could. Now, I know he's from Chicago, so he'll never fully embrace the Bakersfieldness, but it still
is that
counts.
The guy from Mr. Beast?
Exactly. He's the guy who danced on Beast Games. Which, again, and not just Dan, but if you've heard any of the comedians that have come on this show, Michael Blackson not too long ago, Greg Fitzsimmons, Steve Byrne,
so many.
I mean, Brian Ernst from Cobra Kai.
They just signed on some old SNL favorites that are going to come to town. Chris Kattan, and they've got something rolling and brewing over there, dude.
So I'm telling you, the word's getting out. Everybody's starting to see it. Every comedian, even the bigger names that you wouldn't expect that are coming here, are all saying it. I mean, they're not just saying it. Bleacher Report is saying it. So
Rob Schneider's saying
it, man. He showed up after his show at the Fox. That should
How
show
cool
you.
Is that, dude?
That's what I'm saying.
He's booking a show at the Fox Theater. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go to the Well Comedy Club afterwards.
So for those of you who are comedy fans and for some reason have not made it downtown to the Well, you're missing out. You genuinely are. Even these smaller shows like the Weekday show with Nathaniel, and I'm trying to remember his co-host though, David. Right? Isn't it
David?
David May. That's a fantastic show. These roast battles have been fantastic. I mean, everything they're doing over there has been great. So.
And you can't look at this weather, dude.
Soak it up.
I'm now. Like, next week is June.
For those of you who don't live in Bakersfield, we have had a beautiful stretch of beach weather here the last 2 days. And I'm enjoying every second of it, but just know this is the last cool front before the god awful triple digits that will be coming, because everybody who lives in this community knows during the winter, it's pretty dang nice here.
Oh yeah.
I love the weather here. But the minute it turns to summer, it's like living in the desert. It is awful sometimes. I can't handle it, but I'm a big weenie when it comes to the heat, though. I can't
Me
do
too.
it.
Why
I
do you think
can't.
we're working indoors?
Exactly. This is why I did not pick up the oil field work back in the day.
And
But
when I did, I worked overnights.
yeah, exactly. Let's shift over, my friend. Let's get into a little bit of this NBA playoffs, because we saw a game 5 last night between the Spurs and Thunder, where the Thunder have taken control of this series with a 127-114 win. Really, this game wasn't that close.
No, they took control of that game early
They
and
did.
and had it most of the game.
They just had a level of aggression in this game that the Spurs were not prepared for.
That was the Thunder we were expecting.
Yes. And again, maybe this is more tying into what you said yesterday, my friend, the nights that they take off. But the fact that they're doing this without their second best player in Jaden Williams, I apologize, it just goes to show how good this team can be. And once again, like I said yesterday, how deep they are. Because when you really look at who's doing the damage here, yes, SGA is getting his free throws, as we all understand. Chet Holmgren had a pretty solid first half, disappeared in the second, but when everybody else is going off, it doesn't matter. Caruso is a consistent monster off the bench. Jared McCain, somebody who really didn't see the court very much at all in the regular season, has stepped up. I mean, and they said it many times during the game last night, but it doesn't matter who has stepped up during these injury woes. Everybody is reaching a new height in their game. I mean, Hartenstein, although not the best offensive big man out there, and granted, if you really watch how he's been playing defense on Wemby, he is a foul machine. He really is. But if they're not going to call it, who cares? And for this man to go out there, have 6 of 8 last night in 31 minutes, 12 points, 15 rebounds, I don't think people really grasp how big that is. You need a guy that can do that. You need a guy that's going to get nitty gritty and get down there and make it a rough day, especially for people like Victor Wembanyama, who have been killing you. And although Victor ended with 20 points in this game, 12 of them came from the free throw line, and he couldn't make a basket at one point. I think he was 4 for 15 to end the game, which is very unlike the alien, if I'm being honest. However, I said this yesterday on the Ralph Bailey show, and I still stand by this. I think game 6 goes to the Spurs. I think them going back to San Antonio, being around their home crowd, hopefully the referee's paying attention to Mitch Johnson when he's trying to get a dang replay and trying to figure out what the hell just happened on the play before, because even the commentators said they should have got the ball back. But that's neither here nor there. The referees have been a problem in this series altogether. And I can't wait to talk to our guy Snacks about that, because I would love to get his thoughts on this, because you've heard him on this show say traditionally, you would think referees kind of stay out of the way.
Yeah, let them play,
figure it out, especially in these championship situations. Doesn't seem to be the case in this series. It was in the Knicks and Cavs series. They stayed the hell out of the way and let them play. But for some reason with the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't know, again, if it's Adam Silver coming down and telling them, hey, kind of give a little bit of leeway to SGA, or if it's just their personal preference. They like the guy, so they're going to give him the call. I think it's more that, if I'm being honest, but it's still making a massive problem out of this series, because the only thing I am hearing from fans on the internet is foul baiting.
Yeah, and they've been saying it ever since the playoffs started when it came to OKC, and we see it. I just don't know. I mean, there's always the same thing. It's just like football.
Yes.
You know, there's certain teams that get the calls, Patriots. And I will say, you know, the OKC, you hit it right at the beginning. You know, they came out aggressive.
Yes.
And when you get the calls and you're playing aggressive, plus Wemby can't find the bucket, it's tough to beat. It's really going to come down, I think, what we needed is a game 6 win or go home type of Spurs that we're going to see. Yes. You know, this is supposed to be like a learning year for this young team, and they're playing the best team in the NBA for a reason. And I really hope they get a win in San Antonio and push for a game 7, just as the Knicks probably want. But I was going to ask you, the way the Thunder are playing is the way the Knicks play.
Yes.
And do you think, say the Spurs get out of it, do you think the Knicks are over here taking notes?
Yes, 100%. They're looking for ways to challenge Victor and the rest of this team because they are young, they're inexperienced. Not to say that the Knicks exactly have experience playing in the finals, but it's more you could trust Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns to know what they need to do to be successful. Whereas, like you just said with the Spurs, they're still trying to figure that out. Yes, you can lean on Victor Wembanyama, but when a team comes out aggressive, when they're trying to run up and down the court and you have to slow the game down to play through Victor, that's a problem if you're not willing to wait and be patient.
And you could see
And
it in the
that's-
Spurs demeanor.
Yes.
I mean, late third quarter, they looked
and-
like they were just tanked.
Well, and rightfully so, because again, there were plenty of turnovers in the first half. I believe both teams, I should say, had 10, I believe, in the first half. The Spurs were freaking out because the point differential was growing and growing in the first half, and they didn't want it to get there. So instead of being patient and funneling the offense through Victor like they usually do and should have done, they decided we're going to lean on Champagny, who's going off tonight, and Castle and all these guards to get us out of it with a lot of threes. And guys like Vassell and Castle couldn't hit anything last night, and that's going to shoot you in the foot. The strength of the Spurs is not necessarily how great the shooters are. It's how talented everybody is and how great they are chemistry-wise when they funnel the offense the right way. And if you're not funneling it through Victor, you're not funneling the offense the right way. So that, I think, was the biggest problem for the Spurs last night, is they just couldn't get that started.
Couldn't get their offense rolling.
No. And when you have to find a new way on the fly and hope and pray it works, when you're playing against a team like the Thunder, who are playing exactly the way they want to play basketball, which is aggressive, get to the bucket, get some free throws like SGA usually does. Because again, when you're looking at a game 4 where I think they had 18 free throws altogether, and now in game 5, SGA has 18 free throws by himself.
Yeah.
You're going to have more success there. So that's, I think, where it really went wrong for the Spurs, is they just couldn't get the offense going. They couldn't find a way to get Victor really rolling the way they wanted to. And again, a 4 of 15 game for him, 0 for 5 from 3 does not help. But at the same time, this kid's young. He's going to have these kind of games. And this is another instance of where the Spurs need one of those secondary guys to really become a guy. So we'll see what happens. Again, the Thunder are really going to be leaning on this depth that they have, and they're going to be running up and down the court in San Antonio if they are allowed. Luckily for San Antonio, they have one of the fastest guards in the league in De'Aaron Fox. They have arguably one of the better defenders on SGA. If they, stop calling fouls on him, it's Stephon Castle. So there's a good chance that tomorrow night we see the series evened up at 3 apiece going into a game 7 coming back to Oklahoma.
I hope so.
I do too. Just solely because we've had some great basketball.
Exactly.
And I don't know the last time that we've had a game 7 in every single round of the playoffs. I'm just excited just to see that as a whole. But I'm not too worried about the Spurs. I still think that our guy Snacks hit it right on the head. Both of these teams deserve to be there. But the Spurs, to me, still feel like that team that if they could just come out angry in game 6 and show that they could play just as aggressive while also playing patiently and playing through Victor, you're going to be successful. Because that's really what it's going to boil down to, is playing good defense, hope and pray that those whistles stay at the chests of the referees.
And you get away from Wemby. I mean, you're playing right into what OKC wants you to do.
True. And that's not good, obviously.
But I'm still rolling with the Knicks.
You think Knicks win everything?
I think it's the Knicks here. And I think it'll be a hell of a series. I'm hoping for a 7-game NBA Finals.
Well,
I mean, how often do we get to see that?
This does seem
But
like,
I'm an underdog guy, so
No, I
I
get
got to
that.
go with the Knicks.
I totally get that. And you're right. I mean, that would be the underdog regardless of who wins this series.
I'm thinking, talking to Bolt tomorrow about how about if I drop a couple honeys and see how that pays out.
I wonder if there are early numbers for that or how much they have skewed since the beginning of the playoffs.
We all know it's going to be the underdog. So
it's true, but it's also like what you could have gotten if you did that at the beginning of the playoffs compared to now. That's always how my brain goes. Now, granted, you really shouldn't think that way because that's in the past, but
and that's a reach.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, again, looking how everything is shaping up, they will be the underdog, like I said yesterday, regardless of if the Spurs or the Thunder win this series, because both of those teams will be favored. And maybe you're right. Maybe the Knicks right now are sitting at home with Danhausen right next to them, writing their notes and saying, this is the next team you're going to curse. Because trust me right now, Cleveland now knows how bad the Danhausen curse is. Although I do think this was a double because, again, not only did Danhausen curse the Cleveland Cavaliers on ESPN, but he has also had a curse on The Miz for a while now. Miz obviously being a diehard Cleveland fan in every sport. So why wouldn't this compound and be a double whammy against the Cleveland name? I'm just going to start blaming Danhausen. That's what I'm going to do. Although, again, as I said yesterday, and God forbid Cleveland make the right decision and fire Kenny Atkinson or anything. Apparently not. He's going to be sticking around for the next year at least.
So I was talking to my buddy Augie. He's a big basketball guy too. He's straight from Toronto. So I wanted to see what the outsiders type are thinking of this signing, because we're talking about, the NBA Finals. He thinks it's going to be somebody like OKC or San Antonio, like most people think it's going to be the West, which I wouldn't put it past it.
No.
Those are the top two teams in the NBA that we're getting to watch. But his thought is, I think he agrees with me. I think he thinks LeBron is more pushing towards we're going to get a surprise where he goes to a team like Golden State.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that is the route. But
do you think that Atkinson bringing back, letting him coach again? I mean, I was looking at the numbers. I mean, his coaching stats since he's been there, 116 and 48. That's a hell of
it's a hell of a start. Don't get me wrong.
But again, of course, you get that little taste in your mouth when you get swept in the playoffs. But do you think Atkinson is more of bringing somebody like LeBron over?
Hear me out on this, though. I don't think LeBron cares if Kenny's there. I really don't. I think if he comes back to Cleveland, it's just going to be a sentimental thing. And the fact that he knows that they at least sniffed around the finals last season, has a chance at another ring. That's really going to be the long and short of it. If Cleveland cared about what coach was going to pull LeBron James in, they would have fired Kenny and did what the Lakers did a couple years ago and looked at LeBron and say, who do you want? Do you want us to go get JJ? Do you want us to go find Ty Lue again? What do you want? Like, do you want us to go pick whomever? Like, I think that would be more on the table. But Kenny being re-signed to this, again, as I said yesterday, he shouldn't be safe. I know that he's safe for now. He's staying with the team. But after the collapse of this offseason or of this postseason, and just the pure, unadulterated, poor coaching that took place, it will now forever be a talking point in the media. Forever. No matter what, doesn't matter how good he is in the regular season, everybody's going to be looking at him just like James Harden. When it comes down to when you need him to be a good coach, when you need him to make those adjustments, he's not going to do it. And that is going to lead to him being fired a year or two down the way. Because, again, when the media gets a hold of something, they don't let it go unless they are proven wrong. Now, if the Cavs come out next season, are the number one team in the East, Kenny Atkinson's analytics all become true, everything was a work and everything was working towards them winning a championship next season, then it would be a completely different conversation. But as it sits right now, what we've already seen it with Mike Malone when it came to the 76ers. He had a similar answer when they asked him, what's going on? Why are you guys playing like absolute arse? And he gave an analytical answer. I don't think a lot of teams actually like that kind of answer.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't think anyone does either. No matter if Kenny believes that the reporters that day loved that answer. No one wants to hear analytics. Okay? That's not what you're here to be. So, compiling everything, Kenny's still on the hot seat, in my opinion. And to retort your point of his greatness in the regular season, Also take into account he was given a team that was already the number one team in the East multiple years in a row, built by JB Bickerstaff, that was winning 50 games a season already. It's not about where he is, it's about where you are taking him. When Mark Jackson got fired from the Golden State Warriors, it was because they realized Mark's not the guy to get us to a final. Steve Kerr might be. And what Steve Kerr did was take a great team or a good team, great team, and make them a legendary team because he pushed them over the top. That's what Cleveland wants with Kenny Atkinson. That's why they took him from the Steve Kerr area or the Steve Kerr coaching tree, because they assumed he would be kind of the same situation. Former player, had solid success in the NBA. Why not have him come over? He's been sitting there under Steve Kerr for a while. He's learned from one of the greats. Might as well see what he can do. So what Cleveland was hoping with Kenny coming over was not that we were going to continue to be the number one team in the East, but it was to win a championship. And if he's not going to get us there, Cleveland's going to find somebody who is. That's all I'm saying. So for those of you who texted me yesterday and commented on our reel saying he's staying, we know he's staying. That's not the point.
But for how long?
Exactly. We've heard many teams sit there and say, oh, that's our guy. He's not going anywhere. Look at what happened to Tom Thibodeau. Oh, he's our guy. He's not going anywhere. Fired.
Yeah, we see it all the time. What about the Jason Kidd?
Yeah, Jason Kidd, exactly. Blocked from being able to take any interviews at all last offseason. Told all the media he's not going anywhere. He's a central part of our team. He's who we want to rebuild around.
Now he's looking for a job.
For those of you who are jumping the gun a little early here,
It's just talk.
Give it a year. That's what I told everybody yesterday. Give it a year.
Yeah, if that.
He's gonna get fired.
And we had a text from a Warriors fan. He said, I would love to have LeBron on our boomer squad. He said, but I really want Clay back.
Oh, see, that would be a reunion we need to see. Because again, although Dallas, not really the best team to, compare to, but he really needs to go back to Golden State.
Right. Wrap up his career in Golden State.
We need to see the Splash Brothers retire together. That's what needs to happen.
And we've talked about it. I think you brought it up a couple of weeks ago about the salary cap, which is salary cap. There's always ways to move things around. Man. And they made a big old deal about, LeBron can't go to the Cavs because they could only pay him $3 to $5 million. And he made 50 plus. But it's salary cap. Yeah. They can always move things around. And we see it all the time.
We could trade James Harden to the Lakers in a sign and trade.
That would be awesome.
I honestly would not.
If anyone takes him off your hand, that'd be awesome.
I don't care. I don't care who takes him. I don't care if it's Memphis.
Just get him out.
Just get him out of here.
Stay the hell away from my Chicago Bulls.
Dallas, please let us have Kyrie back. Since you guys don't want him, let's do a 1-for-1 trade and let's just call it good. You guys have been wanting James for years. Let's just have it happen. Why not?
And like my buddy was laughing at me because I want Brown from Boston to come to Chicago. And he's like, yeah, like they're going to do any work with the Bulls.
Look, man. Hey. There may be some long-seated rivalry between the two, but business is business.
Yeah, money is money.
And if Boston can get a potential top 10 draft pick out of it, they're gonna take
get him pick number 4.
Absolutely. And again, would you not take a guy who averages 30 and 6 and 6?
Take him in a hot second.
Rookie who you don't even know if he's gonna be good.
I would forget all about the Boston crap.
That's why I keep thinking about it right now. I'm like, I could see Chicago packaging that up and trading it to Boston or Milwaukee for Giannis if Giannis ever wanted to play in Chicago.
That would be awesome.
I know, but again,
I would order that jersey.
There are so many opportunities for some of these teams that are in the lottery to grab a superstar this offseason. I know we're still focusing on the finals right now and how great it could potentially be to see either the Knicks or one of these Western Conference teams to win a championship. But man, the offseason for the NBA this year is going to be so much fun.
I hope it is.
So much fun. The draft is ridiculously deep.
There's big names
that won out. I mean, Brown obviously has been very vocal about frustrations, although apparently not very vocal to Brad Stevens or anybody at Boston.
Coach of the
I,
year.
I don't understand. Yeah, who again? Congratulations, Udoka, winning Coach of the Year, even though you called it a farce and a joke a couple years ago.
It is
And
a
also,
joke.
why are we giving it to him when we knew Boston was good? Like, don't get me wrong. I know everybody expected them to take a step back since Jason wasn't going to be on the court this year very much, but is it really a surprise that Boston was the second best team in the East this year?
No,
Is it really that much of a surprise to people? I
no.
think more we should have given it to Mitch Johnson in San Antonio. I genuinely think the youth and what he's been able to kind of get started there so quickly.
I
This
like
guy
that kid too.
he needs the award, or just go the freaking OKC route. He had the best record, but again, it's there are some or there is some favoritism that happens with these awards, and it bugs me. It really does. But yeah, Ime Udoka, congratulations to you. I'm not saying he's not a great coach. He's a fantastic coach, but I just don't understand why it went to Boston. I really don't, but that's just me. Let's take a break, my friend. We got a couple side stories we can get into before we get to our guests. Oh, the day. German Taboada and Joel Iriarte will be with us from WarmUp Athletics at 8 o'clock.
Tell him to watch his back. Billy's here.
I know. In fact, we need to get down there to warm up with Billy because I have some video ideas. Since Billy, the producer, for those of you who don't know, the young Dawson here at Kern Radio, that's the producer for Scott Cox. We love him. We do. But he seems to think that he can go one-on-one with some of the fighters that have been on the show. And I don't know. I think this is an opportunity to really show what Dawson's got. So we'll see what happens. Maybe you'll see some Instagram reels here coming out very soon of Dawson going one-on-one with our guy Germ, because that is one name he has thrown out there. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a break. We'll get into some of these other stories. We didn't get a chance to talk about Wander Franco yesterday. We'll break down what happened to him and his sexual abuse case. The NCAA has come out and denied reinstatement to Texas Tech's Brennan Sorsby, the quarterback that's currently dealing with gambling issues. And we have a whole ton of college football news because did you see what your Georgia Bulldogs trying to do now? Are trying to rally for?
No, I got a ton of NFL news too.
So I love Coach Kirby. I am a massive Coach Kirby fan. But the SEC now is threatening, and I know they've been threatening this for a while, but I think it's really starting to pick up steam. That's why I'm bringing this up. The SEC is threatening to separate itself from the rest of the NCAA and essentially just go play by themselves, have their own tournament, have everything else themselves. And honestly, that'd be really bad for the NCAA. And I hate to say this, but the SEC could do it. They absolutely could do it. And I'll break down how at some point before the end of the show. This is the early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. We got a ton of miscellaneous stories we're going to try to run down before we get to our guests. Oh, the day. We'll talk some more basketball with our official snacks at 8:30. Traditionally, he's with us on Mondays because of Memorial Day. We didn't get a chance to talk to him, so we'll pull him in today and see how he or what his thoughts were on Game 5 between the Thunder and the Spurs, plus the ridiculous collapse that was the Cleveland Cavaliers season. Plus, we'll be talking to Joel Iriarte and our guy Jerman Taboada on the other side of the 8 o'clock hour. They have some very, very exciting news, and I cannot wait to give them the platform and talk to these guys because we also have some news out of the world of combat sports as they have begun construction of it, Sparky. They've done it. We are beginning.
Is that what's going on at the White House?
Yep. The
I was wondering what
Octagon.
the hell was going on.
The Octagon is currently being constructed for Trump's, I don't know why, but UFC event.
Because he can.
Because he can.
What'd you think about, speaking of who can and can't, Johnny Manziel?
You know what? I told you guys when I first saw this story that for those of you like myself who have just ever wanted to watch Johnny get punched in the face once, you got what you wanted. But unfortunately for those of us that wanted that, yeah, he won the fight.
And retired afterwards.
Yeah. He also went up against a guy he should never have fought. I mean, this guy should never have been in the ring. I don't think he even knew how to fight. I really don't. It quickly showed that Johnny knew at least a little bit of what he was supposed to be doing. The other guy was just kind of there. I can't even remember his name, if I'm being honest. Brandon Mansley or something like that. I can't even remember.
Bob Menery or something.
Bob Menery, yeah. Who
He was
cares?
some
Doesn't matter.
media influencer or something.
Cool. I mean, again,
Yeah. Now he'll be remembered as getting his butt whooped by Manziel.
This is the evolution of celebrity fighting, though, because they weren't the only ones on the card. You may have seen Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley go at it during this as well. Yeah. Lance choked him out in the first round, believe it or not. Not to say Michael didn't have his moment. He did actually look like he was going to win the fight for a second, but Lance slipped out and found his opportunity and took it. You also saw Ray J fight some influencer kid as well, because Ray J came out after the fight saying the kid took liberties and went against what they were supposed to do, which means obviously that was a rigged fight. But again, this is the evolution of celebrity fighting. Everybody sees now that we all kind of want to see our most hated or favorite celebrities fight somebody for some reason. I don't know why that's appealing to most people, but people will pay for it. And that's what you're going to get now, because between that company, which again, name escapes me and doesn't matter anymore, and MVP run by Jake Paul, you're going to be seeing a lot of these things, a lot of them, because they make money. They make a ton of money.
We could have went back into the 90s. We could have probably got Tupac and Biggie and they wouldn't have got shot. But
we had a show that used to do that, Sparky. It was called Celebrity Deathmatch. Right. And apparently MTV is too stupid to bring that back. I
capitalize it.
I still think they need to bring that show back.
Oh, yeah.
Between that and Spike TV's Deadliest Warriors, we need those shows back. Those were so much fun to watch. But maybe it's just me being a nerd.
And before we get into all the miscellaneous news, but the headline that busted out yesterday, besides Manny Fernandez, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Manny. Absolutely.
But what do you think about this Josh Jacobs news?
I really didn't want to talk about
I know.
But I mean, again, it broke late yesterday. Like you said, I was doing the political shows when I got the news across the board. And it's funny because so there are two mugshots going around right now. Okay. Both of Josh. One of them has a big old scar on his forehead. Everybody that I know has told me that's the one for this one. It's not. You have to remember that Josh was arrested back in 2021 for DUI when he was playing with Vegas. He fell asleep behind the wheel. I did that in air quotes for those of you who are not watching on YouTube. He fell asleep behind the wheel, skidded his car, and obviously got into a crash leading to a DUI. In this situation, Josh was arrested for multiple domestic abuse charges, strangulation, disorderly conduct, suffocation, and and intimidation of a victim. I, I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea how these are, how some of these men are behind closed doors. I don't know them personally, unfortunately. But in this case, man, I would hate for this to be one of those situations where he was a closeted POS the whole time. I really would, because I am a fan. As a football fan, I am a fan of Josh Jacobs. I love the way he plays. I love the way he runs. I've always been a fan ever since he was a Raider. I genuinely believe the Raiders messed up by letting him go in the first place.
Same here.
Now, granted, you lucked out by getting Ashton Genty, who essentially is going to be equally as good, if not a little bit better. But y'all did Josh dirty.
Yes, they did.
Y'all did Josh dirty. Josh was the whole offense. But again, that's what makes me fear that, he may actually be this kind of person, because the pure amount of charges that are going on him for this right now, it's hard to fight. It's hard to argue, because it's not. And again, I know I'm going to say this and everybody's going to say, really, it's just not that. Like, it's not just domestic abuse. It's strangulation. It's the intent to harm.
On top of the disorderly and all
the disorderly conduct. Like,
I mean, that's a tough one to get out of.
It is. And it all just at the worst possible time. Because I was talking to our guy Rand Dizzle down the hall about this. It seems like every time the Packers are just about to get good, or something is just about to go right for them, something like this has happened. I mean, again, not in the sense of somebody's getting arrested on the team, but something major happens to one of their star players that just pulls them off and pulls them out of the way. Now, again, what does this mean for his career going forward? I assume that they're going to fight this. I don't know exactly where this is going to lead, but if he's slapped with all these charges, I highly doubt you see him on a football field again, or at least for the foreseeable future. And I just really hope this isn't one of those instances where a great player was just a closeted POS.
Right. And that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And we'll give you updates as the story unfolds. The NFL comes out and says we're aware of it. We'll let the court,
as they normally
handle it,
do,
and
yeah.
we'll find out. But
and
it was kind of sad. I thought it was fake news at first. I was like, no, not Josh Jacobs.
But
and
again,
sure enough, we don't know these people off the field.
And although it's only been a single instance, there are past experiences now. I mean, Josh, like I said, back in 2021 with the DUI, although again, not the same thing, it's still something that he shouldn't have been doing, and maybe he's open to that kind of a thing. I don't know. He could have just fallen asleep behind the wheel, like you said, or something else could have happened as well. And that's just what concerns me. I hate seeing stories like this of great players who, again, are at the top of their game, just have their entire career ruined because they can't not be a POS.
Yeah, you can't act right.
It's rough. Rashee Rice, same situation. Ray Rice, for God's sake. Ray Rice could have been a great running back, but we all know what happened there.
Yeah, and it shows. I mean, we sure the hell. I mean, I remember when the first Antonio Brown story came out. I was like, nah.
And speaking of Antonio,
it's a Hall of Famer. Like, what are you talking about?
Him coming out and taking shots at Julio Jones and who was the other one? He took shots at two receivers. It was Julio and somebody else, but called him boring or something like that. I'm like, see, this is why y'all can have him. Take him. Take him. That's your GOAT. That's your GOAT receiver. Really. I'll take Julio.
Yeah.
All right with Julio and Calvin.
You can say, can be a fan of the guy on the field with the helmet on, but as soon as they walk off, we don't know anything about these players.
Exactly. And that's the rough part about it. Now, we have had the blessing to meet a lot of them in the last year, especially the Raiders, and I am enjoying every second of it and getting to know these guys. That's why I have such a deep love for Max Crosby now. I'm not going to lie to you. He is a genuine dude. I have loved talking to him. Same with Geno. I'm a fan of Geno. I know he's not exactly the most beloved quarterback in the NFL, but I'm a fan. I hope he does well. He seems like a very genuine dude. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what scares me sometimes is that you look at these guys, especially the ones you don't know, you're a fan of them.
Oh, what's the saying is that you never want to meet your idols?
See, but I don't believe that's true a lot of the time. I really don't. I think some idols, sure, but
I
there
mean,
are
just
some
seeing these
out
like
there that,
documentaries, like growing up loving Hulk Hogan,
yeah, true.
and you see
Well,
the
I mean, the man that's on your arm right now, not just Hulk. I
yeah.
mean, Ultimate Warrior.
Hmm.
I think it was Ryan Gosling has a
Oh
story out
yeah,
there where he talks about it, where Ultimate Warrior essentially told him to F off when he asked for a
for an
signature.
autograph. Yes,
I was like, wow, dude, like
he was a pipe bomb man.
he was. He's not a great dude, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there are some that could be in that category, but there are others. Like, I've met Keanu Reeves, amazing person. I've met Shaq, awesome
Oh
dude.
yeah, he's a good dude.
Like, there are some people where it's like, meet your idols, meet them. Some of these guys are genuinely cool. Most of the wrestlers I've met, awesome individuals, so much fun to talk to. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
So on the other side, have you ever met a celebrity
that's
or
not been the
that was just
best.
a jerk?
Oh, honestly, I haven't. But I also am not one of those people where I see a
Oh my
celebrity and I'm
gosh,
like, oh my
yeah.
God, and run up to them. Like, if they're in a situation where I can like brush shoulders, be like, hey, I'm a fan. Nice to meet you. And then I'll walk away from the situation. But I can't honestly say that I've ever had an instance where they looked at me and were like, get the hell
Yeah, I
away
don't
from
think I've
me.
ever had any bad run-ins. I
No.
think Ricky Williams, when I was helping out at a Joey Porter football camp years and years ago,
Hmm.
one of the most coolest laid back guys I've ever met. And he is just like you would think.
Hmm.
He's like the guy that doesn't hang out the big crowds. You know,
Smoking a
they had
doobie.
20 football players on the field, and he's over here in the
Uh,
bleachers reading the Bakersfield Californian.
right.
He's like, he is that guy,
Right.
but the nicest, sweetest guy I've ever met.
That's what I'm saying. There are certain people that are just genuine icons, and then there are certain people that you really just shouldn't be around. Like, again, it's just it's a flip of the coin. So that's what sucks about stories like this, because I hope something comes out that exonerates him and just says, it's not exactly what you think happened, but from everything that's being
Sure the hell's
reported
not
right
looking
now,
good.
no, multiple domestic abuse charges, strangulation, and intimidation, which means not only were you strangling them to the point where they were about to pass out, but you're also threatening their life, I would assume. Again, there's not a lot of instances where it's okay for someone to do that. So if there's a great reason for it, you better come forward with it. Let's take a break real quick, my friend. We'll get into some other stories. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about Wander Franco, who will not apparently be facing prison time for this entire sexual abuse situation that he went through. If you don't remember the story, we'll break it down for you and explain. Wander, a couple years ago, got into a relationship with a woman that was very much underage, and it was all peddled by the woman's mother. And the mom got 10 years. Wander's not getting nothing. There's reasons for it that they explain. I still think it's kind of a gross injustice, but that's just me. We'll get into that. Plus, the Brennan Sorsby situation. He wants to get back on the football field for Texas Tech, but the NCAA has said, no, you are a egregious gambler. And until we know for sure that you're not going to be gambling on football games, you're not going to be playing one. So we'll talk about both of those stories before we get to our guests of the day. This is the early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. Just a couple minutes here before we get to our guys at WarmUp Athletics. Plus, Snacks will be joining us at 8:30. Talk more basketball as we await Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals tomorrow. It will not be tonight, fortunately. You get a night off of basketball.
So is this the story we talked about months ago about the mom getting...
Yes, Wander Franco. So baseball fans are very well aware of the name. One of the Tampa Bay Rays up-and-comers a couple years ago, who back in January of 2024 was arrested for charges of just sexual and psychological abuse of a minor. So for those of you who don't remember, Wander Franco, I believe at the time was 22, had just signed one of the biggest contracts in the MLB's history. I think it was 11 years, 200 plus mil. I mean, he was going to be the Tampa Bay Rays' next big guy. Like, that's who Wander Franco was. He was the shortstop, stud player. Well, he was arrested, and all of that obviously came to a screeching halt in Tampa Bay. Now, all of this took place in the Dominican. I want that to be known. So remember that American judicial system and Dominican judges and Dominican court, completely two different things. The Dominican court has come down and finally put its ruling on Monday that Wander Franco is found criminally responsible for the sexual abuse and psychological abuse of this young girl who he was essentially dating but paying the mom to date, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, the mom was so in
Pimp it
order
out,
to
his kid?
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to accurately like pull the story and put it together for whomever hasn't heard this. Wander was dating the girl and paying the mom ridiculous amounts of money because the mom was essentially forcing Wander to date the girl. Is what the judge pretty much came out and said, was that Wander Franco was being blackmailed and forced to date the young minor by the mom, and all of this transpired, and that's why he is not criminal, or he's seen as criminally responsible but not seeing jail time. The mom is getting 10 years in prison for all of this going down. I'm going to call a little bit of shenanigans on this because I don't know about you, but I don't know a lot of people that could get forced into a relationship with a minor. I'm pretty sure Wander had outlets to sit there and say, yeah, someone help, and didn't take it. So we'll get into that at some point as well before we get out of here. We got to get to our guys at WarmUp Athletics first. This is the early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. And we're also streaming video live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can find us on all social media platforms as well, including Instagram and TikTok, all that kind of good stuff. But it's time to talk a little combat sports with our friends over at WarmUp Athletics. Joel is running behind, I suppose. Not sure exactly where he's at, but we got the real star of the show. That'd be Mr. German is back. Sir, good morning, brother. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys too, dude.
I mean, well,
Kickback women, he's married.
yeah, I know. I know. Unfortunately, there's a ring on the finger now, so he is not available. I apologize. But good to see you, my friend, as always.
Sir,
Man, I know you have some news we'll get to at some point.
Yes.
But let's start with what you guys are doing down there at WarmUp.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen so much online through your guys' social media, all the stuff you've been doing with the kids. I mean, I know you guys do individual training as well. If people are interested in that. What's going on down there? What do we got brewing?
Man, we're hella active as in daily, always up to something. You know what I mean? If we got private lessons, if not, we got this daily sessions with boxing fundamentals. Right now, we have a summer camp starting June 2nd. We have donations for the Jamison Center still for the female youth. And I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but summer cohort for alternative education students to teach confidence, visualization, goal setting, and tutoring. A lot of things going on right now for the summer. And obviously, we all have fights.
Yes.
Currently in with 2 professional fighters about to fight next week, and then Joel upcoming, and me hopefully in the future.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Active.
So if people want to get involved with some of these camps and obviously get involved with you guys at WarmUp, how do they do that?
Hit up Martin. Martin will coordinate everything. And we'll get going from there.
Which I believe you could find all of Martin's information on the website.
Yes, on WarmUp Athletics or his Instagram, Sharp Fitness.
Sharp Fitness. Fantastic. Yes, well, now that all that's taken out, you have some news for us out here.
I'm going professional this year at the end of the year, maybe September, God willing. And let's make it happen. Let's make some moves.
That's awesome, brother.
Amateurs, man.
Do we know if there's any early target here for your first professional fight where we're going to potentially be having this? Is 559 going to be the ones getting you? Like, where are we going here?
I want Tachi, like we were talking
about
Tachi? Earlier. Yeah, I like the arena. I want to be legendary. You know what I mean? 559 is cool and it was good to me, but I want to be where the pros used to be at.
Right.
Back in the day. You know what I mean? I want that energy. I want that
absolutely.
Vibe.
I mean, and whomever your first fight is going to be obviously has to be somewhat of name recognition. Yes, I would understand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be fighting German Taboada, you got to have something to come with. So I'm excited, brother. Do we know about when you're going to be having this first fight at all?
September 5th for sure. Fight camp should start soon, maybe in a few weeks, but
so it's official. It's official.
Well, I have no contract yet, but that's the next move for sure. For us, I got to get going. You know what I mean?
I'm so proud of this dude, man. When we brought him in, I mean, it feels like he's grown on this show. I was telling him, man, he's turning into a big boy now. Not only professional, but he's married. He's got all these things, man. I'm super proud of you, dude. And that it couldn't happen to a better guy. And I'm super pumped. So, I mean, the transition. I mean, obviously, this has been your goal for a long time, but how is the transition from, 559 into this and, your daily routine and all this? Break us down. Like, tell us, how does this transition change and work? I mean, for these other fighters that, have the same goals, but are a couple years behind you. I mean, what would you tell them?
Surround yourself with great people, man. Like obviously Joel, Stevie, Martin. You guys are awesome too. Good vibes, man. A good environment. You know what I'm saying? Even though I just see you guys a little bit, but just surrounding yourself with greatness and people that want to win, not just want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Especially never being an athlete in high school myself, surrounding myself with the right mindset and people that just want to work and be better. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it's a sport with an ego where you think you're awesome and you're on top all the time.
You
have to. But obviously you humble yourself through the little whoopings at the gym, you know what I mean? Ass kicks. And it's not being around boxers, these dudes hit hard, bro. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about too, because obviously you've joined WarmUp Athletics for more than just becoming a coach, but you wanted to sharpen your own tools. How has it been training with professional boxers and how have you seen that change your game?
Well, man, like I said, it's just greatness, bro. These guys are great. Like
Right.
they constantly always at it. Their dad is amazing. Joel's dad puts him to work every day, bro. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's high level. It's high level. Being around high level MMA guys and boxing guys, it's only right. You know what I mean? That it wears off on me, and I only get better myself. So
Absolutely.
it's only up from here. You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool. And I'm with Sparky, man. I love hearing that you're going professional. I knew it was going to happen eventually just because you had the mindset for it. And it's like we talked about, before we came on air. It's one of those jobs that I feel like people don't believe is even possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are just certain ones that we always see and assume that you have to just be somebody to do that.
Yeah.
And you're showing everybody, I mean, like you said, you weren't a high school athlete, but you got into it. You were still passionate about it, and you're so passionate about it that we're now taking it to a professional level, to a height that you could potentially be seeing you on a UFC stage at one point, man. That'd be incredible.
I would not scratch that off. I would
not.
not.
And talk about that too.
Awesome.
I mean, not being a high school athlete, I feel like a lot of people think that you have to start early to be a professional athlete. You getting into this so late in your life, talk about that and how it's really just giving you a different perspective on all of this.
It's crazy because obviously a lot of doubt always comes into your mind. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't do this like this high level D1 athlete, or it's just hard. You know what I mean? But it's just the fruits of your labor pay off, man. It really is patience with yourself and your team, because you're gonna be mad some days that you can't do a proper technique, but it's just the little reps that you get in constantly, and just believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Believing in yourself, and I think that truly matters, and it separates you from the rest, especially with that effort you put in to want to be great. And it's hard. It really is hard. And a lot of things have to happen in order for it to come into fruition. You know what I mean? Like the domino effect. And obviously I'm grateful for my journey and to go to the top. And man, I'm excited. I really am excited. I'm curious. I'm curious about what 5 minutes will feel like.
I mean, we've had so many between you. I mean, Jesus Navarrete has been on the show many times. He was just here, about a week ago, talking about you as well. Great things have been done from both of you. Not even just that, but Sal. We actually have to get Sal back on the show. I haven't seen him in a while.
Peace, bro.
But I mean, dude, much like our comedy area here in Bakersfield, you guys are setting a path and trailblazing it in terms of just the contact sports world. And I think that's great. I really do. I think more the merrier. We need more trailblazers like you guys, man. And this is going to be great to see you bust into the professional realm.
Thank you, man. And it's crazy because Bakersfield has a lot of high-level athletes.
It does. It surprises people, but we are a gold mine for athletes.
We really are.
Our collegiate scouts really do come here solely for that.
And football, right?
Yeah, football, all of them. Football, baseball, wrestling is huge here. Like there's a good amount of solid athletes that come out of this just community in general, and it shows just from your guys' passion about all of it. And that's why I love listening to Greg Kerr every day, because he's the best at covering that type of stuff. You hear about these names, and then about a year or two later, you see him at Stanford kicking ass. So I mean, you're just gonna be the next in line for that, my friend.
Here we go, baby.
And since we're talking about the world of professional, combat sports, we haven't gotten into this yet today, but they have started construction on the octagon at the White House. I mean, is this a potential hope for you that you can get on a card like this and be performing for the president? I'm just saying, man. Trump is setting some stuff up here.
He's making it happen, but man, that's kind of scary.
And
I'm fighting outside too. I don't know about that. The wind, the rain.
I need to see what this thing is gonna look like, man. Like, if this is gonna be just a UFC event for Trump and his buddies, I don't think it's gonna look as good as he thinks it is.
I don't think so. And apparently, it's free tickets available.
Is it
you
really?
Can just show up, I'm guessing.
I have no idea.
Really?
Well, but see, my thing is too, is
going.
This going to be visible from the street side? Because if I'm just a patron of Washington, I'm just going to walk by and say, "Oh, look, a free UFC event," and just stand right outside of the gate.
Let anybody in? Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who's going to be let in? How are they going to get tickets? I mean, we talk so much smack about TKO and these overseas Saudi Arabian events that just look like it's just the royalty out there. We could just be saying the exact same thing in America.
I hope not, man. TKO did something bad to WWE.
Yes, they did.
It's not the same.
I mean, again, there was rumor I heard circulating yesterday that Nick Khan was talking about leaving. I'm like, I doubt that's actually true. But if it's really that bad between the two sides, this is going to be a fun year.
I mean, it is crazy just the involvement of, whether it's MMA, UFC, we just recently had the Rousey fight. We had, what Jake Paul is bringing in and all these things. I mean, we were just talking about Johnny Manziel fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think
fights.
about
Ray J?
the future of this? Exactly. I mean, what do you think about the future of fighting? Is it a lot of like, okay, the real fighters? I mean, we've talked about that with boxing.
Yep.
The same thing. But are we getting close to where MMA and boxing have to kind of collab and get one of these fight
Mixed
nights where we
cards,
get
man.
all of
I'm
it?
telling you, it's gonna happen. Where it's
I
just like
hope.
a WWE event. You just have the octagon above you,
And just
and then when
bring
they
it
need
down.
it, they just raise. They just
It's
bring
gonna
it down.
happen.
I hope
Whatever
so.
sells tickets, they'll
Right?
buy into it.
Oh, absolutely.
Money.
And that's what it really comes down to,
Mhm.
right? It's just viewership and how much they can, sell it for.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were talking about it earlier with these celebrity fights. Is that going to ruin it for guys like you? I mean, not in a sense like it's going to ruin the sport for you, but there's going to be a day where people want to watch that rather than the real thing.
Yep.
So do you think that that's going to be a problem coming down?
I not a huge problem. I think obviously the moment whenever it comes, I'll be like, okay, let's tune in to watch Ray J get knocked out again. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly.
But other than that, I think the UFC fans will be locked in, boxing fans will be locked in with their sport. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just comes down to
Just
that.
another avenue.
Yeah.
What did you
It's entertaining though.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
What did you think of Ray J coming out and trying to say that he
was-
pretty much said
it
that
was
the
rigged.
fight was rigged. Yeah.
dude, I can't believe he got knocked out with that shot. First of all,
Well-
second, I didn't even know he was fighting. I was like, what? And third, dude, I can't believe they even rigged that.
This thing was so weird. This entire card was odd. I mean, Johnny Manziel
Did he
fighting.
win?
Yeah, Johnny
Yeah.
won. Johnny won his fight. Like I said,
Wow.
the two basketball players fought too, and Lance Stevenson won that
Lance
one.
Steven.
It was just weird because
Yeah.
one, I'm not used to seeing celebrity fighting like that. I know there's a pull for it, obviously, but it's not something I really go out of my way to watch. But to see a whole card of nothing but celebrity fights
Crazy.
was just wild to me. But that's what also made me think this is the evolution, man. This is where we're headed. I mean, you see MVP doing it all the time with all Jake Paul's fights. But what did you think of Ronda and Gina? I mean, were you surprised it ended in 17 seconds?
I was.
Were you really?
Part of me was kind of like, she kind of just wanted to secure that bag.
Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean? But it's like an armbar that fast is crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Well, it's Ronda though. I mean, she's done it multiple times in her career.
Yes, but it's just what was her opponent's name? Gina, right?
Gina Carano.
Gina, I feel like she just went, okay, here you go. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like,
fair. I mean, especially when she had the guillotine locked in right away,
Yeah.
you would assume that there was a little bit of a struggle there. But
I think we all agree that Nate Diaz should retire, though.
yes,
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Dude, he didn't
Done,
prepare
bro.
for that fight. You can't tell me he prepared for that
All
fight.
I did was smoke, bro.
There's
I-
no way he was
Oh
ready for
my
that. He took one shot to the ribs from Mike Perry and buckled. I mean, like it was so embarrassing to watch.
Crazy, bro.
And
That was the reason I watched the fight.
Right.
I was hoping to see this. I did not expect that though.
right, we should have though. I
Embarrassing.
mean, when you look at
We
the
probably
weigh-ins
should've.
and you see Nate
It's just
Diaz,
me growing
like
up.
a little
This
bit of
nostalgia.
yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, he's fighting. No,
For
he's
some
not.
reason, we all thought he was going to come out like this was the McGregor fight, and
And you just brought it up. I mean, what do you think? Connor returning. Are we going to see Nate Diaz type fight, or are we going to get a Connor?
I think we're gonna get one good round of Connor after that. Bye.
Yeah.
I think Max Holloway's gonna put him out, bro.
really,
It's just consistency of being in the gym. You know what I mean? And that,
Connor won the first one, right? Am I
yes,
mistaken
but
on
that
that?
was years ago.
No, I know. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's
Oh,
comparable, but I'm just more saying. For
yeah, he beat him. the
Yeah,
first one, so they'll be even.
and Max has been fighting pretty well for the last
Mhm.
couple of years.
That
so
injury
I would-
was just gruesome. What
Mhm.
Connor went through, and I think what was it? His Achilles.
yes, yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
Achilles
crazy,
pop.
bro.
And well, I don't know if that was the ugliest one I've seen or
Chris Weidman.
no, Anderson Silva when he
Oh.
snapped his
Oh.
shin bone.
You saw it live? I didn't
Yes,
see it live.
that was
Oh my
gross. I mean,
God.
between that and John Jones busting his foot after beating up Chael Sonnen,
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some crazy
Mhm.
injuries and stuff, but it also just makes you think like how long can these guys really keep this going? Because your body gives up on you after a while, and that's what I don't want to see.
Mhm.
I mean, I know everybody's saying this is great for the sport having
Yeah.
Connor come back for the star power of it
Yeah.
all, but is it still going to be the same if you guys are watching Connor essentially get injured in this fight against Max Holloway? Because there's a good chance of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't want to see that on television. I really don't.
I need to get your opinion though on Gaethje and Taporia. Who do you guys have?
I'm with you. I'm going Gaethje.
You're going
Yeah.
Gaethje?
I like Gaethje. I like
Yeah?
Taporia too,
Yeah.
but Gaethje to me, I mean, one, you're on the American front lawn. You cannot be an American and lose this fight. Okay, I'm sorry, it just can't
Really?
happen. This is for
That's
all
crazy.
the marbles of America. Okay,
Crazy.
like if there was ever a fight to be rigged in the UFC,
This is it.
the American cannot lose on the front lawn of the White House.
Yeah,
So,
Dana can't have that happen.
Heck no. There's no. Can you imagine what Donald Trump's gonna say if an American loses on the White House lawn? I can't
like
do
that.
it.
I like that.
So I'm going Gaethje.
Oh, I hope they rig it.
I know, really.
I do, bro.
Oh man, we are
Yes.
unfortunately running out of time here, though, my friend. But
Thank you.
again, appreciate you coming and
Yes, sir.
announcing your professional.
Oh, you see, the producer just ran out.
So
He's been talking mad crap since last time you were on the
this
show.
is this
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna do because we are still coming down to warm up and we're gonna be doing
Yeah,
some
come-
social
come
media
down,
stuff
come
with you
down,
guys here.
man.
We just got to find a day where me and Spark actually have the
Yeah.
afternoon to be able to come do that.
Yeah, come
But we're
through.
bringing him.
Bring
you know
him.
the idea that I had putting the bodysuit on me
Oh,
and
yeah.
letting Joel taking a couple shots.
Good
I'm
luck.
still gonna do that.
You
I'm
still
still
gonna
gonna
do
do
that
that just solely because I've wanted to do that my entire
Joel
life.
hits hard, bro.
Oh, I know he does.
Joel
I know he
hits
does.
hard.
I'm completely okay
I've
with
seen it. I've seen it.
I'm pretty. The guy trained with Ryan Garcia. There's no way he doesn't hit hard. But that kid,
Legendary.
right there,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Goldilocks,
Oh, Billy over here.
he is
See,
also going to
flexing.
be doing it. I want him to go and just full BJJ, just work him on the mat. And I know you can because my cousin Sean Clark, who says hello, by the way,
Okay.
has
Hi.
gone toe to toe with you.
He's a black belt from Camarillo.
Yes, he is.
Yes, I do know.
And he says
He's a
that
good
you're
guy.
fantastic. He's very excited to see you as
Aw.
well. But I want you to
Okay.
do the same thing you do to him to that kid and show exactly why he cannot handle this. You
I'll roll
understand?
him up. I'll roll
Well,
him up.
We'll
Respectfully.
raise some money for warm up while we're
Oh,
doing
heck
it.
yeah.
Hey, why
we're doing
not?
it all for
Why-
charity. We're talking about
Exactly.
celebrity fights. The Kern radio guys are going to be fighting some people at warm up.
Let's go.
All right,
you guys
man.
heard it.
We got to take a break, though. Germ, thank you so much for joining us.
Congratulations,
Appreciate
brother.
it. Congratulations.
Thank you,
And we
guys.
will see you guys at warm up very, very soon. And tell Joel he owes me one now because now he didn't show up.
Oh, you don't-
Joel,
you don't wanna owe
I know
one
you're
from him.
listening, brother. And we
Put
gotta
you in the ring with him too.
No, I know he's incredibly
He's busy.
busy
He's
getting
always
ready for
busy.
his next fight, and he's always doing stuff in the community. So it's completely okay, brother. We completely understand. But we will have you and Joel on here very soon. Talk about your guys' next upcoming fights.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Let's take a break real quick. We'll get into some extra stories before we get to our guys' snacks on the other side. This is the early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. Big thanks to our guys over at WarmUp Athletics, Kern, Taboada Joel Iriarte, even though he was unfortunately unable to join us today, plus Martin Espinoza for setting the whole dang thing up. And we will be doing some stuff with them here in the very near future. I know Sparky and I will be joining a charity fantasy football league with them as well, so we'll keep you up to date on that and who's in that league.
And that's probably the only league I'll win.
Yeah, I know. But again, it's going to be both of our minds.
I like
both
it.
of us.
I like it.
That's what I'm saying. Me and you put our brains together. There's no way we could lose, Sparky. No way we could lose. And we're going to go with your tactic as well, because for those of you who have never played fantasy football with Sparky, he's one of those guys that keeps his whole roster on his bench until day of the games, and it absolutely infuriates people, and I'm here for it.
Yes,
I'm all absolutely
me
here.
too.
But it's time to talk a little bit more basketball. Snacks is with us, our official. Now, normally we talk to him on Mondays, but of course we were off on Monday, and we had a game 5 yesterday that we have to talk about as we await a game 6. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I hope you guys enjoyed your day off on Monday.
I mean, I did. I hope you enjoyed yours as well, my friend.
I was here. I was at the
Oh,
station
that's
alone by
right.
myself,
You work holiday, dude. I feel sorry for you, brother. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't realize that you were here. I didn't know you were here by yourself. That sucks. I would have came down here and joined you.
That's the best time to be here is when you have
You
the
know
whole
what?
building to yourself. You get so much done.
It's actually true.
Actually is.
Absolutely. Real quick, let's get your thoughts on game 5 last night. What were your thoughts on the Thunder's aggressiveness, the Spurs' inability to kind of take that on?
I'm with Carmelo and the crew. I just think the Spurs looked tired last night.
Really?
That's what I was just saying earlier. They looked, mid third quarter towards the end. They just looked tanked.
Yeah, and when they brought that up, I was like, oh, this makes sense, because when you go back and watch Ant Edwards in his first playoffs, you really have to be ready for the physicality of the NBA playoffs and just the longer season. And if it's your first time doing it, I don't think you really notice it or really understand it until you get to that moment. And so with that being factored in, I know since last time we talked, I was going for the Spurs. I just think the OKC, one, has the experience, two, know how to, let's just say longevity in playoff series now. They know how to go about doing it. Where the Spurs is a younger team and they're figuring it out like, oh, we can't battle every night. Like, and the problem is that OKC has more pieces coming off the bench and more pieces just not coming off the bench, but they're actually being valuable on the floor compared to the Spurs, not getting major minutes from many. They don't have a deeper bench than OKC, so
no.
That's why I'm looking at it. They just look tired. So if they can go have a recoup in a day or so or whatever, get their bodies right, I think we have a better game. But I think they kind of wore down now.
All right. See, I feel like the Spurs still have a shot here. I'm almost 85% positive they win game 6. I'm just going to throw that out there. They're at home. They have the right mindset. I think they'll get the rest necessary. I'm sure Mitch Johnson probably has them on a day off. Doubt they actually practice. But I feel like this series is just destined for a game 7.
And I can see that, but somebody's going to have to give the Spurs more. And last but not least, the one thing that's continued is going to piss me off, we have to get anybody that's over the 7 feet tall to be below the free throw line. Can we please watch Wemby in the post? Who's going to guard him in the post? You get him down the post, that opens up the rest of the floor for everybody else, because now you have to double down. And if you can't dominate Hartstein in the post, then we have a lot to work on in the offseason.
Yes.
Please get your big ass down in the post and just work. Just make the game easy for everybody. And if they double, you got shot makers around you. But this is really hard to watch 7-footers out on the 3-point line of half court, taking shots and trying to do all this dribbling. Bro, just make the game easy for yourself.
Right. And that's what we saw. The same thing is once we got into the second half, OKC had control of the game, but there was times where they were running on some bench players, and San Antonio had it down, I believe, at 9 or 10 at one point in the third, but it looked like like you were saying, they were getting away from their offense and they were just throwing up a lot of threes instead of running through Wemby. And I know Wemby and, any superstar, they have their off nights. I believe you talked about it was like 4 for 12 or something.
4 for 15.
But I mean, at that time is when the game kind of went away because they stopped going to Wemby and started shooting up threes instead of running that offense that is really difficult to guard. I'm still going to roll with the Knicks as the upset. I think the Knicks with a full week of rest before game 1. And I think the way the Knicks are playing, preferably, I would much rather see them play the Spurs just because of, the young
matchups.
But I think if they could run through Wemby, that we'll see a game 7. But if we see anything like we saw last night, OKC might just wrap it up.
Well, if the Spurs have to go through another series of physicality like this, which New York is going to put you through, they're not going to make it. So watching the games since we spoke last time, I would prefer OKC in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Because the physical, that's all OKC is doing is just being majorly physical.
Yes.
With the Spurs and getting in their head. And the reason why we're seeing the offense that the Spurs are giving us is because, again, they're tired. They're just taking the easy way out. When you're not tired, you can run through plays and take a couple more seconds off the shot clock. But when you are tired, bro, just shoot the 3. Just take the first open one. And you're not mentally there.
Mm.
And so, again, if they don't do a quick turnaround and a good recovery, I do think we will go to a game 7. But I think ultimately, my answer, I know I was going for the Spurs, but watching this is like you almost have to go for OKC because they know how to do it.
No, I totally see what you're saying. And honestly, you're right. They've gone through 2 harder series than OKC has had to. I mean, this is the hardest series Oklahoma has seen all playoffs. So they're obviously on fresher legs. But it's like I said about the Cavaliers. They said the same thing on ESPN about why Cleveland lost their series in 4. They said, Brian Windhorst was on ESPN saying, oh, they're on, tired legs. They didn't have anything left energy-wise. That's why you take all those games off in the regular season, isn't it? To be prepared physically for games like this. So is that an excuse that we could really even use anymore? I mean, I get it if you played a whole 82-game season and then now we're stretching it into the playoffs and you're on
multiple
game 100.
7-game series.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about guys who maybe play 60 games in the regular season, so they have those 20 games of fresh legs for the playoffs.
See, I didn't see tiredness in the Cavs series. I saw a change in the locker room series.
Yeah,
like I think other players, just like fans, saw that you see what the elephant in the room is, and you keep putting them on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bring him off the bench. I don't care how much you're paying Harden. He is a defensive liability. Bring him off the bench. Get a good run in, then bring him off the bench and see what he can do. And once they start picking on him again, bring him back off the bench.
Yep.
Like I mean, everybody easily saw what the game plan for the Knicks was. If Harden's on the floor, attack him.
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand the coaching.
Right.
Huh?
That's why I didn't understand. We saw the same thing. I didn't understand the coaching, and I blame that series on really not adjusting to what the Knicks were doing, and obviously Harden.
Yeah, and one thing you'll get from the Knicks, and there's only a few teams that's going to be physical every game. And the Knicks has been doing this for the past 5 years, where their stars have been playing every game with no rest. So they have to be in the most shape of their life. So, but I didn't really get – the Spurs are tired. The Cavs, they were just out of sync, and something changed in the locker room where, okay, if you don't keep playing them and he's just going to keep launching up shots and you see him get cooked on defense, what are we out here to play for? And that's what I saw in the last game. Like, bro, let's just lay it down. Let's just call it the season and figure it out later.
On the other side, I mean, if you watched the game or you watch any sports talk shows, I mean, going back into this OKC, I mean, is it really the officiating? Because I'm hearing a lot of, obviously they're always going to target SGA, but I mean, even the game last night where they're officiating, where it seemed like OKC was getting away with a little bit of, shoving and pushing when it got down to Wemby and guarding Wemby. Is that, you think, I mean, as an official, do you see the difference in games where OKC's playing?
No, because again, if Wemby gets his big ass down in the post, he can change the whole trajectory of play calling because now he can get 2 quick fouls on Hartenstein, and somebody's gonna have to come down and double. So if you swing through and take the ball up hard to the hole, so one of those guards going to get in foul trouble. So now you put 2 players on a team in foul trouble compared to as an official trying to officiate a 7'4" guy. Now you're officiating size, length, and strength, and also we go off of speed, quickness, balance, and rhythm. So are you really getting affected off the speed of your dribble and the quickness of getting to the rim? So it's a whole different way of officiating when he takes himself out to the 3-point line compared down to the post. And so when you look at size difference, okay, he can play through that contact compared to SGA penetrating to the rim. So sometimes that goes into that. People really have to stop complaining about officials. Yes, some games they're not going to be great, but not every game officials are bad. Like you got to get out your betting mindsets. I know that people are parlaying and whatnot, but every game is not bad. Yes, SGA probably puts a little emphasis in some of his moves. I think some of his initiations off the dribble, going to the rim and taking the shoulder into the chest of a defender, I think some of that should be called. But again, we're in the NBA playoffs. Do you want to see SGA sitting on the bench because of fouls? Do you want to see Wemby on the bench because of fouls? And a lot of Wemby fouls are stupid. Like some fouls.
It really is.
If you really look at it.
Clumsy,
stupid reaches.
And I could be biased, but just looking at the game, I'm also fair. Also looking at the game, a lot of this is not the officials' fault. Some are just dumb play. Sometimes, I'll turn to a WNBA game just to see one offensive play ran.
Right.
Just so I can see one offensive play ran, a backdoor cut, a quick little cross, something, and then I'll flip back to it. But to answer your question, I know I went long-winded. I don't really think a lot of this has to do with the officials.
I agree 100%. It was just, it almost seems like just an easy excuse to put it all on the refs.
It's just what sports fans like to do. We all have to find a villain, and if it's not one of the players, it has to be an official.
And you know that's what the headline is going to be if OKC knocks out San Antonio.
Absolutely.
It's not the fatigue in the young San Antonio team that we can see,
right?
But it's always going to be, well, SGA gets all the calls and Brunson gets all the calls.
But see, that's always been the case. And not to piggyback off of what Snacks just said, but I mean, it's kind of like the LeBron James argument from back when he was younger in the league with the crab dribble and stuff like that, and why he was always getting those fouls or not getting the fouls rather, and he gets hacked every game and everyone says he flops. It's like, well, he kind of has to now,
just to show.
Exactly, because again, not to piggyback off what you just said, my friend, but if you do take into account size, physicality, balance, all of that type of stuff too, a guy of the size of LeBron James wouldn't get any calls because he is easily the biggest dude on the court most of the time. So it makes all the sense in the world that you go that route. But one of the things that I have to highlight, though, is something that Sparky has talked about, especially when it comes to Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. We've seen some egregious, and I mean egregious ways that these big men are trying to beat up on Wemby and hold him literally and not getting called for it. Do you, as a referee, have to step in and set a precedent that that's not okay? Or do you think this is a message not only from the referees, but from the league that, hey, we understand that this kid's an alien and we're going to give you guys some leeway to be able to play defense on someone this talented?
Yeah, see, that part I don't know, because I've talked about this with other referee officials as friends, and Hartenstein is out there grabbing like he wants you to call a foul.
I mean, Chet Holmgren literally stamped on his foot during a free throw. Like it's been pretty egregious.
Yeah, like Hartenstein, most definitely out of all of them, is the one. Like, I want you to call a foul, but I don't care if you call a foul. And why that's not being called, I would like to know myself. And so on that, and something on that nature, I see where fans are coming from. But the whole game officials aren't bad. But yes, plays like that, I think need to be discussed. And I'm actually intrigued or interested to see why those whistles aren't being called in that particular instance, because I know Hartenstein for sure. I'm like, man, he's literally grabbing his own arm and he's face guarding or face boxing out, which is illegal. And I'm like, but again, NBA playoffs, you let a little bit more go, but those type of players, like, I don't know about that one.
And see, it was like the in the Eastern Conference Finals where I would appreciate more of this officiating because they did let them play, and then there was some hard fouls that they didn't call, and I was like, good, man, this is playoff basketball, and I would turn it up. And I think the Knicks adjusted to that because when they were in game one, they were looking like they were foul baiting most of that first half of that game. And then they were down like 15, 20 points at the time. And that's when I saw, Coach Brown kind of change it up. Okay, we're going to play a little rugged now. And I think that I hope so when it comes down to the NBA Finals, whether it's the Spurs, whether it's the Thunder, I hope this controls the NBA Finals the same way.
Well, if you look at the history of the NBA, well, for me, I've always thought that the Eastern Conference has always been called differently compared to the Western Conference, because the Eastern Conference, you look at back in the day, the Knicks, the Bulls,
Bad Boy Pistons,
Detroit alone, they always were aggressive games compared to the West Coast game. When you watch the Lakers, it's more like an AAU game. The East Coast is more like you go into the park and watch some dudes play at the park. So I don't know if that has to do with it. And the West Coast is slowly but surely the Western Conference is slowly trying to make their side a little bit more aggressive. I don't know. But when you watch the Eastern Conference Finals, you go into it like, oh, this is going to be a physical game. That's why I say I would much rather have the Knicks and OKC in the finals, because those are two physical teams playing right now. And then I really want to see how it's going to be called.
And my last question before I pass it over to Burdick, but going into the finals, do you think this week off for the Knicks is one good for, a team that's playing hot, or do you think that the rust does kind of catch up to you?
Oh, that's a good one, man. I think that really comes down to the chemistry of your team, honestly. The chemistry that you all, which the Knicks aren't showing that they having bad chemistry right now. Out of all the teams, they are the ones that's playing like they've been. Well, I guess they have been playing all their life, because most of them playing in college together. But yeah, to make a long story short, I think it really just comes down to the chemistry of the team, and who gets the most rest. And right now, the Knicks have the leeway on that aspect right now. So
I mean, they're
looking good.
They've had it all playoffs. I mean, they got lucky not having to play Boston. They got Philly, fresh off a 7-game series, and they definitely found their groove at the right time, because they are playing good basketball. But like I've said for the last couple of months talking to you, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they line up against one of these tough West teams.
Yeah, I'm curious as well, but I just all around, I think they have the edge with the size and the posts compared to OKC, and having Brunson on your side, because now another reason we want to see this, because who are they going to give the calls to now?
Right.
Brunson or SGA? Who are they going to keep on the floor? Who are they going to keep off the floor? Or how are they going to officiate this? So I'm sure fans are really intrigued to see how this is going to go with these two on the floor.
I'm so curious to see if OG Anunoby, especially if they play the Thunder, if he is going to be in foul trouble the majority of this series.
Most of the time he is.
Because that boy is the unsung hero.
Yes, I love that guy, man.
And if they foul him out of the first game, I'm going to be livid. I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I'll be like, hell no, we cannot allow this. Like, oh my God. My last question.
He's been balling for them now.
He is. He is the unsung hero of that Knicks team. He really is. But my last question for you, my friend, then we'll let you go. I know you said that you're leaning Thunder now, but what, in your opinion, do the Spurs need to do to win these next 2 games and pull off an upset?
Just make the game easy for themselves. Again, just put Wemby down the post, let them double team, and leave them down there until they stop it. And just until they start double team. But the bench players or the role players got to come through too. Somebody else has to step up.
Yeah. Listen to Reggie Miller and just lob it to the guy all game long.
Just lob it to him. And somebody else has to step up when he goes off the floor.
Yes.
That's when OKC takes a lot of their runs, is when he gets off the floor. Like, you see it coming.
Yes, and he can't play a full 40. He's already they've already kind of proven that his motor's not high enough yet. He's
there's no
there,
way he can play. There's no way he can play 40, and I just think the OKC, the Spurs coach is getting out coached right now.
Yes. I love Mitch Johnson, but I can agree with that. I think that he definitely is being shown to kind of have some holes in the game right now, but he's growing. He's growing on this team, I think.
But he this young and me this far. I mean, you can't be mad.
No, and that's why I genuinely think he should have won Coach of the Year this year. I do, but again, it's Boston. They're going to give it to a Boston guy. I know. It is what it is. So, my friend, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. We will talk to you on Monday.
No doubt, brother.
Thanks, man. Let's take a quick break, my friend, and then we will get to the final stories. Oh, the day. Brennan Sorsby is trying to get back on a football field, and the NCAA says, hell no. And we will explain exactly why on the other side of the break. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Drake Toll. You're not a Savannah Bananas. I don't know what's up.
I watched.
There's so much fun.
There was a girl that was on stilts.
Yes. Yeah. No, they have a
It
whole
was
league building,
craziness.
dude. They have like the firefighters now. Like a guy comes out with a bat literally on fire. Like it's cool. Like, the
They're taking
entire
over
league.
Disneyland today if you don't have plans.
Dude, I'm telling you, banana ball is gonna be a thing in America. It's gonna be great.
I heard him this morning saying that they're taking the Savannah Banana bus and they're taking over Disneyland today.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that so much. But let's break down some of the miscellaneous stories before we
What's
get
up with
out
this
of
Sorsby
here.
story, man?
So Brendan Sorsby is essentially the number one transfer this offseason from Cincinnati. He went to Texas Tech. But this kid, if you remember, we broke down the story for you a couple weeks ago, went to rehab because he has a really bad gambling problem. And the NCAA has a really big rule against their players gambling on both professional and collegiate sports for obvious reasons. Now, technically, I believe Drake Toll is actually the one who dug this up, if I'm not mistaken, or it was Nick Costas, the guy in front of us. I can't remember which. But the rule, it dictates that as long as it's within a certain amount of money, the athlete can still bet and it won't be seen as a problem.
As long as it's not your team.
Yes, as long as it's not your team and you have nothing to do with the outcome of the game. Well, Brandon didn't do that. Now, from what I understand, he never bet on his own team, but he did definitely bet over the cap and went to rehab, finished his, I believe it was a 35-day inpatient rehab out there in Arizona, and has been trying to get reinstated by the NCAA so he could play for the Red Raiders this season. Yeah, the NCAA said, hell no, we're not letting you on the field. We can't trust that you're not going to bet on sports games. Just because you went to rehab for a month doesn't mean that you're fully over this yet. If you have an addiction, we need proof that you've gotten over the addiction. I think that's a pretty fair way to put it. Brandon Sorsby will be going and appealing this decision, obviously trying to get it on the football field this season. But as it looks right now, until they have any inkling of proof that this kid is not going to be betting on collegiate or professional sports, I don't think you're going to be seeing Brandon Sorsby on a football field anytime soon. And then the other story out of the NCAA that I wanted to get to real quick with the last couple minutes, and no, it's not Wander Franco, I promise. That is what it is. Kirby Smart, though, has come down and doubled down on essentially what the Georgia president, Jer Moorhead, said, which is the SEC should break away from the NCAA and become its own thing and play by their own rules and not have to adhere to all of the litigations and all the problems that the NCAA comes with. And at first, when I read this, I said, are you nuts? Really? Separate? Not only that would be terrible for the SEC, but it'd be terrible for the NCAA. Let's not do that. But honestly, when you sit there and look at it, although it probably won't happen anytime soon, but when that college football playoff contract is up in 2032, 2033, they could legitimately consider this. You look at how much money this conference makes as a whole, about $1 billion a year, and it's going up every single season. The viewership that they get, highest among any college football conference. They can be self-sustaining. And arguably, a college football playoff of all SEC teams will be more entertaining than anything the NCAA could put together without them. Sorry, not sorry. So we'll break that down a little bit more for you tomorrow. We'll give you some more updates on some of these other stories that we didn't get to today. Nico Collins got a raise from the Texans, which means he ain't going nowhere. They found their wide receiver one. We'll get into that and a lot more from the NFL tomorrow, as well as our usual Thursday guests, Anthony Howdeggy from The Well and Bolt Brady. Hopefully make you some money on Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. But until then, Sparky, let's get out of here.